Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Dinks with Kinks. I am your host, John Dondero, and before we get into tonight's episode, I want to remind everyone that we are, in fact, on that social media. Take your time out of your day, go to social media, look up at Dinks with Kinks, reach out to us, say hey. Just say hey. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from our Kinksters.
Hi.
And that lovely voice and are the wonderful people who do this podcast with me every single week. Tonight we are with the very lovely Miss Rebecca.
Hello, everyone.
And the very smooth Mr. Shep.
Good evening.
See, I'm a little off. No, I'm a little off because I do believe at the end of the last episode, I said Shep is hosting.
What?
Yes.
And he's like, I don't know how to do such things.
He's
like, I don't know how to do such things. I was like, I've introed the podcast the same way 88 times.
I can never follow your highly inventive and always unique introductions.
It's the same. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Dinks with Kinks. And before we get started, see, I know it.
I was like, it's not complicated.
You know, I mean, y'all are two hosting people. Yes, but
I mean, we got to massage out the kinks eventually.
Yeah, listen, I'm just a little stiff tonight. I'm sorry. That's my bad. I came in stiff. And so, because I thought Mr. Shep was going to put his hands on this and just be very hands-on and kind of rub out a really good intro.
Not to be mistaken with rubbing one out.
Yeah, he did. And he has buried his face into his microphone in the most defeated way possible.
What are we talking about tonight, John?
I don't know. Mr. Shep, what are we talking about?
I don't know. I've been pummeled with puns right off the bat. I need a moment.
No, you knew it was coming.
In fact, heavy attack from both
you
angles.
You knew this was coming. We had a whole week to prep these, and we did. We prepped them hard.
I know what we're talking about tonight.
I think we're rubbing.
What are we
them
talking
out.
about?
We're talking about massages. Massaging.
Oh. Are we going to have a happy ending at the end of this?
You mean like
this episode is going to have a
gentle massage?
A gentle massage. You touch my body. You touch my body real good. It's a gentle massage. No, we're talking about massage. And, wait a minute. I didn't know massages could be kinky. What?
They are very kinky, actually. It has its own.
I don't believe that.
It has its own section in porn. Like, go on Pornhub and just look up erotic massages, and you have a plethora of erotic massages. What do you want?
Yeah, no, that's how you put the sweet moves on your sweet lady. You rub her shoulders a little bit, put a little massage oil on there, and she's all tendered up.
That's just skin foreplay.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, you must know something about this.
Erotic massages are hot.
I know normal massages. A little bit about the other ones, yeah.
Well, why don't you go ahead? Well, Mr. Shep, why don't you tell us what you used to do for a living? Before we dive into what we're talking about tonight, give a little back history. Take us back. Spin us a yarn. Take us back in time.
Spin us a yarn about what? 9, maybe 10-ish years now. I don't know. Yeah, by then. Working as a techie, but then going to night massage school to become a massage therapist, and doing that professionally for what, 8 years or so? Yes. I know a little bit about the rubbies, just a little bit.
What made you want to be a masseuse?
I didn't want to be a masseuse. I wanted to be a massage therapist. That's the very professional answer.
Okay.
The stigma to the massage therapist was the masseuse. This just wasn't.
What's the difference?
The unprofessional term kind of thing.
Okay, well then,
But-
yeah, like John said, what's the difference between a massage therapist and a masseuse and an erotic massage? Then, what are the differences?
And a moose. Toss a moose in there too, because it rhymes.
as
What's
long
the
as
difference
it's a
between
room
all of
with a
that and a
moose.
moose?
I mean,
Oh, that's an old Invader Zim reference.
Yep, it was.
Yeah,
I mean, to
I
get
like
that
it.
that
A room
perfect
with a
hair, do
moose.
you have a moose? Do you have a moose in your
Give a
hair?
moose
Are we
some
talking
muffin.
like
Oh my god, we need to talk about this kink.
Oh yeah, okay.
what?
But anyways.
Oh, I was
yes,
going to
yes.
go back into more about the moose.
But anyways, the difference is, well, I mean, you know, one of course is in the professional setting where, you know, you come in, you sign up for different types of massage therapy. At the time when I last did massage, I think there was like 208 different types of massage therapy. Crazy, but yes. Under professional settings, professional guidelines, licensings, and all that kind of jazz. Whereas all the rest is just, you can do the sensual stuff at home, where it doesn't require the licenses, just good funs and rubbings and happiness. Where you can do the
It's
happy
like working at
endings,
a
and it's okay.
working at a library and being a librarian are two different things. A librarian is somebody with a master's degree. Somebody who works in a library is tech.
Yeah, so maybe
Most libraries have one librarian.
masseuse might be the little kiosk guys rubbing on their backs and everything else, hoping to not get caught because they don't have a license or anything,
Okay.
which does happen.
Well, explain to me this. How is it a kink? Like, what makes this a kink? Miss Rebecca?
I'm like, I'm raising my hand. I actually know some people with this kink. I personally don't have, I guess it's a kink. I actually know some people with it as a fetish, and they enjoy, they get aroused by especially is it called neuro? Is that like the one with the full body where you cover yourself in oil, and it's erotic, and it's making sure you're touching every part, and it's the look of it, and they get turned on by rubbing just the feel of the bodies together. And
Well, I wouldn't say neuro.
Okay.
I'll just, because that was close to more medical styles of massage kind of classification. Just like Swedish.
I don't know
is
anything
a
about it.
basic type, but I don't know what you would really specifically call just the the fetish and sexual types. But I can definitely see it, because as we said in the past, all these different things and how they get wired to our pleasure centers and everything else. Just basic massage, because it can be stimulating your nervous systems, or even like what people like soft play, because it is a nerve stimulator. Like the one I enjoyed doing and like to demonstrate sometime is called Nerve Touch, because it was meant to not really massage the skin, but also almost like tease the nerves, because it's so soft and stimulating, as it were. But
Okay.
yeah, I can see some people needing this as like a foreplay to get aroused and such like that.
So, y'all want to hear about some of the research I did?
yes,
Because I may have researched this entire subject.
I mean,
Of
don't you
course
see it
you
every time you go to a porn site? But tell us some more.
All
most
right.
of my
so
research
what
is
I-
porn.
I mean, most
Does
of
that
mine
count?
is too, but I read some articles. I actually read a scientific journal, a medical journal about it. So, about a week ago, we did a live stream about soft play when I talked a lot about stuff, and I knew we were talking about massage this week. So actually, if you would love to see us do this live, we do a live episode every Friday night at 10 p.m. on twitch.tv/The Dondero. We do DWK Live. But I went and researched some more because I was like, I want to talk about massage therapy some. And it's actually the exact same thing we talked about when it came to soft play, about releasing the endorphins. Massage therapy is actually a twofold fetish. It is a paraphilia, which is an attraction to an object outside of genitalia, and then a addiction to like a connection to serotonin and what's the other one when you
Dopamine?
massage the bottle? Huh?
Massage the bottle? Oil, normally?
Massage the body. No, there's a chemical that releases in your skin. I can't remember the name of it. I don't have my notes right in front of me. But there's a chemical that releases when you massage the body that triggers arousal. So the paraphilia comes from wanting to be the masseuse. Mm-hmm. If you have a fetish where I am turned on by giving massages, by putting oil on you and massaging you, and the people who get aroused by getting a massage, actually the serotonin that it releases when your muscles relax causes arousal. You're the same type of people who enjoy all manners of soft play. Mm-hmm. And now it's going to kill me that I cannot remember that one. Right.
Most of the feet friends I do that I know that have this kink, they have it as a paraphilia. They like to be the massager. They like to have their hands on that type of thing. Because I was asking them questions. I was like, okay, so tell me what you're in. Like, why are you into it? Like, you know, what is it? It's attractive about it. And they really do like the massage, the feeling their hands on the body. They find that they're also very dom, and so they like having that a little bit of that control on, like, you know, the person just laying there and just enjoying themselves. And
they're big fans of the hands-on approach.
They are.
I can see that.
Aha.
You found the word.
I did. Dopamine. And I knew that word. That's why I didn't have my notes, because I was like, I know dopamine.
We said dopamine,
didn't I say that?
Yeah, we both did.
You think you did? Yeah. I know, but I wanted to Google to make sure it was the same word.
You dope. I mean, we said
So
that.
But I'm saying if it was the same word that I had on my list.
I gotcha.
Yes.
I pulled up my notes to see if they were the same word.
You wanted to double check. Yes. Which is also good.
Well, thank you for verifying our facts.
Yes.
Hey, he makes us legit. He does make us legit. He makes us legitimate. And I'm so happy for that.
I use the simple tools and simple words for big effects.
So, John, do you enjoy massage? Like, are you a big fan of massage? Or, I mean, the reason I ask is because I know you have a sensitivity to touch. So I know do you maybe not enjoy getting it, but do you enjoy giving an erotic massage of any type?
This is twofold, because I enjoy massages, but it has to be a deep one. Like, you have to push past the nerves, my skin. You have to get into my muscles, because if you lightly touch me, I go nuts. But if you put your finger so deep inside me, you're touching my lungs. Why, yes, I do enjoy very much. Yep, exactly what I said.
There's massage angles where you can almost pretty much do that. Yes.
Yeah, so I want somebody to brutalize me. I am not one for pain, but I want you to go so deep my skin can't feel it. Mainly because I have a lot of muscle trouble. Fun story about giving massages. I am, this is one of the best qualities in the world to have, because if I am stressed, I feel the need to knead things like a stress ball. So one of the things I love to do is, if I'm around somebody who would want a massage from me, if I'm stressed out, I will walk up to them and just start massaging. My partners in the past have loved it, because the minute I say I'm stressed out, they will literally pull out their feet and be like, I need a foot rub. And I will happily and it helps. It's part of my process of, like, thinking and working stress out. So as much as it's not a sexual gratification, it does trigger the same chemicals to de-stress me. So I totally understand having this paraphilia of wanting to rub somebody and like that kneading motion, releasing the chemicals in your brain, because I get a dopamine released when I massage somebody else, and it relaxes me, but I'm not aroused by dopamine.
Here's a shepherd unknown fact. Whenever I don't know what to do or feeling lost, I'll connect with somebody and massage them. To help ground myself.
That honestly is the exact same thing. Yep. That's something me and Shep have in common. Because I will need people.
I need
my kids hate it because my kids hate it because I'll do it to them too. They'll be walking by, and my daughter absolutely hates it. She'll walk by, and I'll just put my hands on her shoulders and start rubbing her shoulders. She goes, "Dad, I am 4. I don't need this. I'm not old yet."
Well, okay, so we're talking about massage as a kink. Now, you both stated that you massage people to ground you or as a connection or connecting with someone in that manner. And we've had some other kinks that we've talked about, such like crying or submission of any sort or that type of thing, where it's sort of tied into that connecting with that person. Do you think that that's where the kink part comes in? Is that you're making that physical touch connection with your partner?
Absolutely. And what I want to add to that is, because you're right, we talked exactly about that. It's just like the grounding and the feeling safe. And one of the things we talked about before, when we talked about bondage and being a comfort and being a turn on, are so similar that essentially they're the same thing. Like, I know people who are into bondage not for the sexual pleasure, but because it makes them feel safe. They like to be swaddled. It's a comfort. And what is the best form of comfort but sex?
Butt sex? I mean, that could be comforting. Yeah.
Butt sex is a great comfort. Yeah.
I actually, here is a confession. I was actually very paranoid about massages for a very long time. It actually made me uncomfortable because back in college, I had a friend of mine who wasn't very skilled in giving massages, but he was trying to help because I had an audition, and so he's like, let me give you a massage, and I'm all tensed up. Well, he ended up pinching a nerve in my neck, which
I know this friend, don't I?
Yes, you do. And I, for a good solid 10 or 15 years, I wouldn't let people no, like they would get me. I'm like, please don't touch me. Please don't. I find I've eventually gotten over that. But for years, I was like, please don't touch me. Please don't touch me. And I think maybe that's also, I started being okay with massages when I started getting into kink and I started embracing sort of that sub side of me and learning how to trust people. Learning how to trust the person who was massaging me, because that is like, it's trust, it's vulnerability. And I was exploring that vulnerability part of myself. And so I had to push past that, that sort of fear that I was like, I have to trust this person who is touching me. And so, yeah.
You can definitely jack somebody up if you don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely jack somebody up. I don't massage like that. Like, usually my massages are just not deep tissue, not trying to get in there real hardcore. I just want to knead on somebody. I'm like a cat. I want to knead on you. Make my biscuits. I'm making biscuits.
And even though I've been doing this... Whoop, go ahead.
Go ahead. I do, but here's with... Okay. Do you at all get aroused by any type of massage, whether giving or receiving, because you are a massage therapist?
And you do have a thing for skin.
I do have a thing for skin, but I guess it's just because it, it helped me learn a person better. And it helps me connect to people, just like when they're on the cross, I'm watching their bodies, not their words, to communicate with me. I'm really comfortable with non-verbal communications and stuff like that, I guess, most. But just giving massages, often no. Sometimes, depending on the receiver and their motions and or auditory noises that they make, that can sometimes be a trigger for me, yes. But normal everyday massages, giving, never. Receiving, I always felt that I did not experience or perceive stuff that everyone else did, because whenever I was receiving, even from like professional massage therapists and stuff, I liked it, but there was never like a true like, oh my god, it feels good, or relaxation type things where I would see people I was giving them to experience. So there was always, I guess, a bit of a disconnect there for me personally.
I've gotten massages that have led to something. I've gotten sensual massages that have led to places, and given sensual massages that have led to places. But they were not of the guise of getting a massage. They were the guise of, I'll help you relax a little bit. And it was part of the... Well, I mean, honestly, it was part of the foreplay. It wasn't like, some cheesy move, but it was just like, you come up and you start rubbing the shoulder and all that. And if my partner knows me really well, that means they know I'm stressed. So it triggers their nurture. So I am nurturing, they're nurturing, and then one thing leads to another. Suddenly our pants are off. The dog's upset because we didn't let them out. It's just it's a snowball effect of just, yeah.
So what was the most interesting fact you found in your research, Sean?
That it was a paraphernalia, a paraphilia. Because I wasn't
right.
Well, yeah. But when you're looking at it, I'm thinking this is still an intimate, act. I don't see it as like the act itself being what turns you on. I kind of fascinated the fact that no, it was the nurture. Like I am actually physically doing something that's releasing endorphins in me. Like that's what I didn't think about. And as soon as I thought about it, that's what made me click of, well, I do that for when I'm stressed to release dopamine. Like I massage people to need. I didn't put it together until I was reading it. And then I was like, oh. So that's probably the number one thing that fascinated me much is that it wasn't so much this, I'm rubbing another naked body, which, seems like the very obvious. I have a kink for this, but it wasn't. It was the chemical releases of doing something that triggered, like I was kneading on somebody and somebody's rubbing on somebody, and I could have been rubbing on a piece of leather and it would still release that dopamine, but it being a person heightens that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Just like I've been pondering this ever since we started talking about it as a fetish, and I was like, do I have this fetish? But the more I question it and how I look at it, it's no, my massage is not a requirement for me for getting a turn on or aroused or anything else. It's just I guess another tool in the toolbox, as it were, towards my main connection with skin per se, but not the say all.
Yeah.
But I do think something that I was thinking back to it, and in massage therapy back, probably continues now, but even back in the days and such, it was harder for male massage therapists because guys, just touching on people, especially female customers and stuff like that. So I think during my time when I was training to be a massage therapist and everything else, I also just mentally turned it off as something that was in a non-professional sense. So when I was doing it, nothing but professional moves, nothing but the perfect draping of the body and everything else. So that kind of stigmatic title or view would never be on me.
I did the same thing. When I was a bondage producer, same thing. It doesn't matter if I'm filming my fetish or not. Professional mode.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot connect the two. So I get that. I get that a lot. That you had to like hammer that out of you if that was even your thing. And that's what you want in your masseuse. I don't want to be giving my masseuse a boner or wet giblets. And I say boner because my masseuse was a very lovely gay man, and I loved him to death, and he's still my masseuse. That dude will like realign my spine and bully the shit out of me. And he was the first person to ever cut me, and I love him.
I find
Cup.
massages
Not
very erotic. And I do. I honestly, and once I got over my fear, I even when I get massaged, obviously because I'm bi, it doesn't matter what gender they are. I do get turned on by somebody massaging me. It's just because it does have that release of dopamine and serotonin and that it feels good, and people are just I like people touching my body, and so when they are rubbing out, and I like watching massage porn. I do. I discovered this whole world of erotic massage all over the porn sites, and it's just I think it's the look of the body, it's how the noise, like Shep said, like how the person responds, and it's just I think it's a very sensual, more so than it would be like impact play or that type of a kink. For me, it's a more sensual kink. It's a very like slow burn, in so not so much as setting me on fire right away, but it's one of those it builds, and I think that's incredibly hot.
It's a lot of fun. It's anytime I have a new potential, like play partner or something like that. That's how everything would begin. I would communicate and learn through massage and touch and learning, exploring the different aspects of that person. It's a lot of fun.
This has been a fun kink. A fun episode. I think we worked out a lot of things.
A lot of knots.
I think maybe
misconceptions.
I don't want to say we did not, but we definitely unknotted. And I feel more relaxed.
This isn't bondage. We're not roping knots here. We're undoing knots.
No, undoing knots.
Massage is like the yang of bondage. One you're doing knots, the other you're undoing knots.
It's about that time.
And maybe part 2 can be tantric.
Oh, I definitely want to talk about this more. You know what? I think this would be a fun thing to talk about on our live streams, like, because when we live stream, we kind of go more in depth of broader things. Last week we talked about soft play, which led me to do more research on this one. So I highly suggest coming and checking that out. Plus, you can see all these beautiful faces. We streamed Friday night, and it was a lot of fun. It's 10 p.m. Eastern. Friday nights on twitch.tv/thedondero. And that being said, you guys want to know what the wheel spun?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh.
Well, you're going to have to pray for this one.
Teach tantric. That was fun.
Because I'll have none of this nonsense.
Oh, is it religion? Is it religious kink?
Nope.
The priest kink?
Close.
No.
Close.
Close.
But it's. I mean, it is a subcategory of religious play.
None.
None of your business?
There it is. It's none of your business, but we're talking about priest and nun play. I actually have this kink.
Break out
I
the
am actually
crucifixes.
turned on by a nun. Sister Act messed
None
me
for
up.
you.
Nice. I'm so excited now.
Yep. So next week it'll be none of your business as we priest about and our Sunday lovelies
Play in the pews.
play in the pews. Get cares. So I am your host, John Undero, and with me, as always, a man who could just spend hours on a spine and make all the muscles feel like jelly, Mr. Shep.
I mean, he's not wrong. Till next time.
No, I'm not. And a woman who actually doesn't need to touch you to melt you to jelly. Just give you that sweet, sweet look, Miss Rebecca.
Good evening, everyone.
Till next time, good night.